Etifu anko papa de Likee TV Be so no mesese ne double channel so no hit adoma no subscribe no like it. No shama one pense me bi etie so enya bi etie na mesese obejebre ni adaje na yabo nsem nim ne de nsem etwagu no ye de emo nsem enyina ebebra mo na etiefo nsem abetodwa no say de all evidence out per investigation and this for the abetodwa chebu say the missing containers na ayira no omuchese Afenyo Markins and Dubik. Yes, then yes, Afenyo Markins need Dubik there, and any see there na Afenyo Markins jam parliament. Ekeka na no nsem chese ondo obeto na enema ekoso horom se what oboa sema wo kan oboa na yemongrem na yenti nsem yeba diaka bia na yede emu nsem bebramo
amdwa bibi mu ngira wo one story way. This guy is a criminal. Dubik Mahama. And I catch the Attorney General. I have picked information say this criminal Dubik Mahama is your friend. And that seriousness also already attach ECG criminality. Yehu akwawe account ECG containers. Kronwa oni Afenyo Markins born or ECG or resign here without giving us a reason. No, Attorney General Ayeni, I respect you. I am still investigating the matter. I swear to God, if I get a little piece of evidence to say it is because of your friendship with this guy, Tina, you don't want to go into the matter, you will not like me. If I get to know that you and this boy Dubik, because of your friendship, you don't want to address the ECG container theft, you will not like me. Intermediate, I'm setting a record straight. Now, this boy, Dubik Mahama, a chain smoker. Now, Wakotsina Joy News. You see, Mamaka Binchiramu. Some of the media, almost say Ghana. Some of the media almost say Ghana. And I plan, especially multimedia, media. Right now, I can tell you, say, political talk show I Ghana is solid bakwa. I can say, me time I share a key point on TV3. I don't want the only political show Ghana. Me when say, Nipana or hostino, and they show the way it's been drafted. They show the way it's been carved. The presentation and the follow-up questions, and don't want the only international reasonable show. And the Ghana political show, yeah, I'm being honest with you. Say about a Saturday shows. Key point. And no Joy News idea or more say political criminals, they think they can use that cocaine media to rebrand political criminals like Dubik Mahama. And Kesi chum, can Japan catch that I say cocaine or the BA. Multimedia ever seen there ultimately respond here. It means it's true. I didn't know. Ghana for near him until Canada Japan back at say who could cocaine can now be a multimedia ever seen there. You've not been able to clear yourself, meaning you are an ex-criminal, ex-cocaine dealer. Per Canada Japan statement. But you see, multimedia right now what they do and they say it has become a platform and as a news outlet that always cleans up drug addicts, criminals, political criminals, and that is what they are doing for this boy because he has paid Evans Mensah. And what they are doing is right now, every single day, no matter multimedia. So this guy called Dubik Mahama in any country, he's not supposed to be given any platform to even speak on ECG matters. But the funny thing is, you will see multimedia since the day the news broke out say Akwawe on Afenyo Markins connived. They came together per the investigations from the committee. The two criminals, the board chair and the ECG MD, came together to steal from us. Multimedia and actually say they will be bringing this guy on TV to be doing what? To be cleaning himself. Into a multimedia, Joy News, I just say cocaine media. What they do is they clean drug addicts, criminal, political drug addicts. Now, my mention idea be AC, and why they be a Ghana for say privatization of ECG is paramount. And the government needs to hand over ECG, the operations, some of it to a Ghanaian private company. When it is foreign, I will not agree. But a Ghanaian private company needs to take over ECG. Okotena Joy News, the same cocaine media. And he was trying to create an impression, say, the ECG that he was board member and became MD. The ECG is an entity that has never made profits. In fact, ECG was never at the table in terms of revenue. He is creating an impression, say, remember this guy, he was a board member before he became the MDO. And there were quite some multimedia catch Ghana for say, ECG, you know, they never made revenue. And that no Ghanaian should stand up and be questioning ECG why they are not making money. Okay. Now, listen to this guy, Dubik Mahama.
Why did you merge the estate department with the
These challenges that you speak of now, I mean, when you were appointed, when you assumed office as the managing director, these were not new to you because you had served as board member of ECG then.
I didn't say they were new to me. I said, when they all came to, it's different from when you are sitting at the board. You're a policy director. Then finally you are put in the main chair and then on a daily basis. There's one thing that I have learned in my 2 years, 4 months of occupying that chair is that the theory that Mike Tyson gave that you always have a plan until you enter the ring and you are hit in the nose. And then you realize that everything is thrown out. Because you can wake up in the morning, all systems go, everything is working perfectly. You're chugging along nicely. By 2 o'clock, there's fuel shortage here, there's this here, there's that. Now the question you ask yourself is the cost of unsold energy. So what do? You have to, but you know, one of the things that we don't give credit for because most people don't have the backstory is that ECG was never ever at the table. ECG was never at the table in terms of revenue. Because ECG's revenue, when I joined the board, this time Memorial and everybody was talking, was always like this. There's no utilities revenue that flatlines.
Always on the same wavelength.
It was about 450, 500 million, 450, 500 million. But thanks be, the minister in his last interview said what? 1.5 billion.
Right.
1.5 billion is no mean feat. To move a company that was never at the table because at that point, everybody had to carry ECG. And in carrying ECG, what did it mean? You understand? Now, the main way or the single way for you to collect revenue is through meters.
Right.
Metering. Now, the question is, what's the lifespan of a prepaid meter? That's one thing most people don't know. Prepaid meters do expire.
And then when they do, I mean, there's no way of checking the consumption level
it is not
of consumers.
So PURC will do a beautiful job of giving ECG a tariff. ECG will fire the tariff into the meter while you are enjoying 2013 meter. Unfortunately for maybe Sule is on the 2022 meter, so he will receive the new tariff. Most of the meters are all, you know, prepaid metering started under President Kufuor.
We'll come to the way forward.
I'm building the backstory
so that I can allow
I'm building the backstory for you. So, in deciding to embark on the digitization journey, we called a few people in place. There was an unsolicited proposal which was going to be even considered under PDS, which we saw went through the whole thing. We changed how we procured meters. We changed how we installed meters. As at the time that I got into office, ECG had a huge lack of meters in the system, and ECG's installation was about 2,500 meters a month. As at the time I was leaving office, they were such an efficient machine that they were doing about 100,000 meter installations in a month. All of these things require investment.
Right.
You cannot have a multi-billion-dollar or billion CD industry in Ghana and not invest in it. I sometimes hear the whole conversation around it, and then you realize that, look, yes, ECG's debt. Oh, this is ECG's debt. But nobody fails to calculate what portion of the debt falls under, what do you call it? Forex losses. What is the portion? Because every single implement in ECG is in USD. From the you buy electricity in dollars, you sell it in cedis. By the time you are going back to procure those dollars to pay, what's the forex rate? You come into the office in the morning, you are rich. By the time you close, you're poor. For example, last year around this same time, it was February, when the whole digitization process ended, ECG went cashless.
What is he talking about? This is the immediate boss of ECG. Dubik Mahama, he was a board member before he was made the MD of ECG. From the beginning of his conversation, he just said the board is just a policy. They basically endorse policy. Now, you being a board member before becoming the MD, then it means you have prior knowledge about how ECG operates. Because as a board member, when a policy from the MD is put before you endorse that board, that policy, before you give that green light, we presume, you have read that policy before you basically give it an endorsement. And now, if it's about money, you give the green light for money to be pumped into that policy. For you being on the ECG board before becoming the ECG MD, then basically you should have a prior knowledge of how ECG operates. You have no room, no excuse to give to us. Because all the things you are talking about, that time I would be a human who say, Mike Tyson proverb bitch say, so ura ring grima, punch is different, You already had an idea about what will happen in the ring because you were on the board. You looked through every policy document that was presented to the board. Into join news catcher say the ECG, it has never made any money. And the ECG, everything about it, when it comes to revenue, they have never been to the table. Meaning, ECG has been running debt from Tete. There was never a point at ECG could breaking even. Mamin Chawa Debi. Miwi make sure baby. Oh, say in some occasion, say ECG no a kana mene omo. ECG no, they don't even have money to, at the end of the day, use in the operationalization of ECG. Okay? Akwa we time or ECG boss no. In some okay, time I say ECG and that time I know 2023 they were donating 200 motorbikes to Ghana Police Service, an institution that is not able to meet its obligation. ECG institutional and to me sika enye enfambo ECG no brano. The ECG is able to raise money to buy 200 motorbikes before elections to give to that police service. The question here is, ECG priorities in any day. This is under Dubik Mahama. And I'm going to show you Tama Dubik Mahama sika we akoto motorbikes ma ECG Ghana Police na ECG omo numbers saying. Because from what you are telling us ECG basically is always bankrupt. ECG does not make any serious revenue. So if ECG wasn't making any revenue, yeah, I'll do that. If ECG wasn't making any revenue, how were you able to raise money to buy 200 motorbikes to give to Ghana Police Service? If you really say you are a manager who is looking out for the company and making sure your priorities are right, how were you able to raise 200 motorbikes? Where did you get the money? Because from the donation on the site of ECG, under your watch, Dubik Mahama, you presented 200 motorbikes to the police service. Now, this is the picture. You can see clearly. This is Dubik Mahama presenting motorbikes to the Ghana Police Service 2023. So the question here is, if ECG is not breaking even, If ECG is a company that is making losses under your watch every single day, the question is, where were you raising the 200 motorbikes money from? Was it from your pocket? Or it was from the same ECG that was not even breaking even? Now, I'm going to show data no any chart no. Now, I'm show BB about MPP 4-way. A simple data. Joy News for Nankasa and a Kuibaye. My men show near fan compare Dubik, Mahama, and Samaoka. Now, the dangers and seriousness of the corruption now. Yeah, can want some every single day. Because here when I'm radio, so I comfort them. Yeah, interviews. Dubik Mahama a way. No fee way. Such a drug addict. Maybe I make sure the real Dubik Mahama. Drugs now I say you. I will show you who he is. Yeah. You see this? Let me show you this. You see this data? Look at the data carefully. I'm sure I DB. You see,